Am I the only one with a wife in the dark? I told my wife yesterday the value of our portfolio so far, but I made her promise to continue to let me make decisions on it since they have worked thus far, and she agreed. I flipped crypto in December and January and went balls deep in GME. We up, babe. This is what I would love to do for my partner, but we're not married, so it isn't something I would ever suggest. He makes good money and is very conservative with it, which is great, but he's never invested and I'm still trying to even convince him to get a Roth IRA. ETFs are so safe and easy. Dude doesn't have the stomach for risk. But I'm just risky enough without throwing caution to the wind. We could make such a great team. Frown. What the heck? You should be able to convince him that not having an IRA is riskier for his future. Show him what his money will be worth in 50 years if he doesn't invest it by showing historical inflation values. Your $1 would need to be $10 in 50 years to keep up with inflation. That's a good way to frame it that hadn't tried yet. I generally see it as having your money make more money. But yeah, inflation means he's actually losing money by doing nothing with it. In general, I try not to push too hard on the topic because at the end of the day it's his money and his choice. I just wish I could help him be smarter with it. I've learned to never ever tell anyone that isn't deep in the weeds like I am my stocks. Hence my wife. She is super supportive, but she sees money differently than I do. She thinks we have 50 shares. Oops babe. We have XXXX trending toward adding another X. My plan is to tell her next year that we owe $25 million in taxes. God, what a dream. Should I tell her I bought 10 billion safe moon coins? Yeah, last update was when we went down to $40, saw 90% loss, told her what we lost. Since then went from 20 to 30 and back in the green. Won't update until gains are actually realized. It is my burden to worry about for now. I think my wife doesn't even want to ask anymore. I just keep saying we bought a few more shares. We have a good amount of shares, we're good with the number we have, etc. I don't think she cares anymore because we have always been in the green with GME and she understands the extreme fuckery that's going on. Although a big part of me thinks she's quiet because she's spending way more on shit for the house. I'm down with it. I haven't talked to my wife about this at all. Money matters always stress her out. After the most when we're millionaires I'll tell her we don't have to worry about money anymore. I am right there with you brother, and add to that she has tough times with her mental health, and her depression and anxiety even interferes with keeping a good job for a good length of time. I'm just dying to get to a point where I don't care if I have to keep working. But I get to tell her that she doesn't. It's my only goal right now. Wife, how did your stocks do today? Me, they went up. Wife, did you sell? Me, yep, I buy low sell high. That's what I do. I actually bought 20 more shares of GME after hours. Wife, you're so smart with the investing stuff. What should we spend it on? Me, yes I am smart. That's why I use the profits to invest in a conservative ETF that has a dividend yield of 1.5%. Obviously a lie, I am going to burn rubber in my Lambo in hell. Wife, oh, okay, ramen noodles again for dinner? Yes, that is my hope. I can't wait. I'm hodling my X shares as long as I have to. I've been teaching him about how the stock market works and what's going on with GME as well as I can. Like 3 months ago I had no knowledge of stocks whatsoever, so I'm proud to be able to pass the knowledge on to him, and his little brother and sister when they're old enough. Trying so hard to set them all up so they don't have to struggle like I have. Smile. My husband knew I was in for a few shares in January. It took some courage for me to talk to him about tapping into our emergency fund by 50% because it also sounded so tinfoil hat at the time. He eventually agreed. However, that's how much he knows about. I think he suspects I've been buying more since then, which is true. I'd tell him how many if ever asked point blank, but don't ask, don't tell seems to be applying here. Smile. My wife is one of those people that just focuses on her immediate surroundings and day-to-day life, while I am more of a global big-picture person. I take care of all the bills and finances. She had no idea what's happening with the stocks, how much we've made, or how much we're going to make. Curious the split here of female and male stockholders. My husband was last updated on my activities a few weeks ago. A little has changed. Smile. Married lady ape here. Husband knows we're in, but it's probably about 50% of what the actual shares are. We're solid, and I am the financial manager of our partnership and business anyway, so he's accustomed to me moving funds around as needed. I still giggle though when I think about the day I tell him. My wife's none the wiser. Money issues nearly broke us, so I kept my pocket money to make a better life for us post-mos. I feel bad, but only a little bit. She'll be in the dark till my bank balance looks like a phone number, and I can then say we'll have zero money issues from here on out. Then I can give us the life we dream about. You fellow apes have given me a new sense of purpose and drive I never knew I had. Took a fellow ape to bring me on board, and so happy they talked me into this. You lot are awesome. Keep eating crayons, you beautiful diamond-handed apes. Big love to you all. See you on the moon. GF thinks I bought one share R102. I'm at 69 shares at average $151 now. She told me to sell at 150, 200, 250. I'll tell her the truth once this is all over, but anyways it's my money and as long as I pay my half the bills, I can do whatever I want with it. I'd really like to tell her we can start looking for a house. I hope shorts are forced to cover before 2022. We've talked about maybe investing some of our money in the future, when she starts working again and we have some money saved up. Guess what? We're investing already. I just hope I can tell her I'm going to stop working because we're set for life before she gets a job. I was going to make a similar post today. My wife asked me point blank yesterday how much we had in GameStop. My response was a few thousand and she was a little surprised but okay with it since I told her it has basically doubled so far and she knows the upside. In reality, we have up $20, $30 invested and our unrealized gains are about 3 times what she makes in a year. Jokes aside, I remember telling my wife well fiancé but she's the one. Back in Jan when I bought at 400s, she was pissed, but she backed me. Fast forward to today she believes in the whole thing, bought some shares herself and is strapped in for the moon trip of many lifetimes. She know how deep we are in GME. Now I haven't put it all in. I haven't put us in a position where we'd be uncomfortable of course with the sudden expense until said moonshot, but she knows how deep we're in, and I'll leave it at we're in deep, so I'd just depends on your partner, right? Yes, in the same spot. She knows I have a few, but I have almost double the number after that. Ops, I don't dare tell her about the increases. She thinks the stock market is a lottery and don't want our money there at all. I've tried to tell her the special situation with GME, but it's no point, she's utterly uninterested in the market. Buckle up, exactly like mine. She only allowed me to use like $1,500, so I put some more of my own money which she doesn't know. I wanna be able to give her a house and her family a better house and pay all of my grandma's mortgage before she dies. She's 88, so I'm awaiting a phone number in my view, before I even will try to look for the damn sell button. Hedge fund Tara's mine was too. Leave her alone and stop badgering her for a while. Show the gains every so often. Finally my wife goes when I show a daily etc. That said, I'd avoid sharing too much. Note to all apes, she, or they, he, hasn't been through February, March turmoil. I have. My emotions aren't tied to the price anymore, but to the fact that I'm selling when it's life-changing. No less than a phone number account, literally. So if your wife sees a huge gain but to you is she may try to inadvertently and unintentionally be a fudger and could play in your emotions to sell. Set her price, show to gain trust, then go quiet is my strategy. I am feeling to show her if we hit 500k or a mil, maybe a few mil to buy a house outright is my exit. That and the pool with drive into a fountain lol. Kidding. Not really though. I plan on only telling her when I have sold. It is the only secret I'm keeping from her as I need a clear head and no doubt in my ear. I like the stock and know it will open up a life I could only imagine for us before I sort out the bills and we're just getting by. We won't struggle in the coming months. People at work know, though. I feel lucky that my partner was willing to try and understand what's going on with GME. It's still 99% me making the buys, reading, and supporting the community by sharing info, but knowing I'm supported and trusted by a risk-averse person is something I don't take for granted. Buckle up, my wife has been fairly uninterested because she doesn't understand. Just get the all I trust you, don't lose our money look, though I've never seen her interest peak more than today when RC said buckle up, this meeting is adjourned. The look of shock on her face was glorifying. He's probably my wife's new boyfriend. Buckle up been averaging up, averaging down, and holding since early January. I didn't tell my wife a thing about a GME roller coaster because she would not be able to handle it. I just tell her that our investment is up a good amount. Approximately 10%. In reality, it's more than doubled. Buckle up, I keep trying to jack my wife's tits. She won't get caught up in the roller coaster though. She pats me on the head and lets me play with the GME ball though. Since we're full disclosure, I've been cut off from going balls deep, going to have to start buying ETFs that contain GME to get my fix. I'm like a hedge fund in reverse. I couldn't resist telling my wife back in March. Stress got to me. However, she doesn't know the extent that we are invested. 30 ape here and so glad to have been able to make a sizable purchase at the $40 discount dip. My plan, hold all of my shares and sell one when it passes 7 figures. Then sell a few more on the way back down in the 6-figure range. I voted I never make financial moves without discussing with the wife. My job on this one was to explain why I wanted to put most of our money into. She agreed. Like all things, ours was a joint decision. As a divorce lawyer, I see lots of spouses keep stuff from each other. That's why they end up hiring me. Don't be that person. Absolutely not. She and I are a team. And teams don't function as well when only one half of the team has the full story. We have been 50-50 in on this thing from day one, with me only recently throwing an extra $XXX into our account for a handful more shares, which she knows I did. And now she's considering matching that additional final contribution I had most recently made to the pool. To each their own though. I understand the appeal of wanting to surprise one's spouse. I'm not speaking ill of that approach, just explaining why it isn't the approach I've taken or would take. I wanted her to be able to experience all the emotions of this ride equally with me throughout it all. I love sharing every experience with her, and this has been no different. My wife doesn't know anything at all. It's not because I hide things from her, but that when the gamma squeeze happened she told me to sell and I held and lost all my unrealized gains and she was pissed. I'm going to surprise her when this is all over with. I don't want her judgment to affect my ability to hold. Lady, my skeptical hubby doesn't know exactly how many, but I keep joking that we don't live in a community property state, so he needs to be nice to me to live comfortably, like Elmer Fudd, when he inherited Bugs Bunny. The first surge I was able to take out some and pay off her school loans. She's seen it go up and then way down and panicked, but I just told her to trust me. So she's seen it go from 40 to 400 to 40 and now we just grazed the taint of 330, so those are good things. Smile. I've been averaging up a little every time I can find a few bucks, but oh man, if this goes well we can both have new boyfriends. Tongue. Ask my wife, who really likes her job, if we ever received life-changing money, would she quit her job? I got probably not, and every time I bring up my favorite stock going to the moon, she just rolls her eyes. Only time will tell. Until then, hold. My wench is happy with our shares and we both keep getting more. I have more than her but have offered her a deal to buy in after it happens. She gives me what I've put in, then we split the tendies. Me, you know. It's very tempting to get a loan to buy more shares. Her. Do not get the loan. We have enough. Me, insert your guess at what happened. Here, skeptical. $420,420,420.69. I have a whole family that's completely in the dark besides my sister. The rest think that I got lucky back in January when I had a partial share for $40 and cashed out with a fluke $485 profit. They don't know that every other paycheck of mine has gone into my trading account and into GME. They will only know after this is over, which I don't think will be soon given the events in the past few days. My girl doesn't know a damn thing. I told her about some call options and GME. I went up 30K on back in January and she told me to pay per hand. I don't need that kind of negativity. She's in the dark now. Gotta hit her with that surprise, babe. We're millionaires. All my husband knows is I still haven't lost my initial investment money from a year ago. I did pretty well dumping money into stocks when COVID bottomed everything out. I pulled out enough money for us to go on vacation to Hawaii and then to the beach this year on my gains from last year. I tell him when the stocks are up or down, but that's it. My husband has no clue. I have a written exit plan with tasks to complete at various points in the most. One task is to sit him down and tell him I've prepared a packet of information for him to start reading through once his panic attack ends. He's going to freak out. Frankly, he thinks I'm an idiot. He'll never believe I pulled this off. My wife asked me in March how much do I have in my savings. So I told her none. I bought some shares. She freaked out for a bit because I had just begun saving for a mortgage deposit, but I explained the situation as best I could and that I only invested what I was willing to lose and that I wouldn't buy any more. I explained that there was close to 0% chance it would dip under my average, and then we sat down and watched The Big Short together. I'm glad I told her, and even though she worries, she's happy because at the moment on paper my shares are worth the entire mortgage deposit. I've just saved ourselves 5 years of struggling to save that much, but she knows I'm in this for the long haul. Nope, wife has no idea at all, but I started this as a gamble with my own play money in late December and my addiction has only grown since then. It's funny now to gain and lose half a year's salary in a day or two and just be like, I'll see about tomorrow. Pretty sure I couldn't handle that if I had someone else on the ride screaming to sell most. all the time. My story starts with one GME option bought late December for a $17 strike price with expiration late January 22nd for approximately $1,000. I sold that for double in early January. Immediately regretted, like 5 minutes later, and bought all shares with the proceeds. Been buying since, and all I can do is look at my account and say, WTF, but in a good way.